pretty fast. Says offline.
Oh, that may be that big.
Now it's actually getting started. I believe we are actually live, which looks rather good. I'm gonna have my channel rechecked real quick. Yeah, that looks rather good. Excellent. So yeah, good evening everybody. Welcome back to, either way, if you watch offline or online, to the Great Hangouts, the second outing of my little hangout show where I try and have different people from communities just I don't know, put into a little bit more of a spotlight, which you don't usually see, and also to give back and have a little bit of a cozy chat to see how long do we know each other, what kind of interests do come down, and maybe what topics are actually go down the line or happen or we stumble upon or whatever. So my second guest tonight is a very long time friend from the old hollow times at the Terminator file boards, Mr. Dan Hawks from Great Britain. How are you doing, good sir?
I'm doing very well.
Excellent.
Sleep, but otherwise doing okay.
Yeah, tired. I think during today's times and being in our 30s and approaching the 40s, I think tired is kind of like the standard MO, right?
I think that's been the standard MO since the mid-20s, to be honest.
I thought so too. Like this is almost like the meme I saw today, you know, where it's like, what was it? Video games show us a world that actually not attainable in real life, and then you have a status. You have a status from
rested.
Yeah, exactly. You get up feeling well rested. Like, I think I can actually say I have that once every 6 months, that I get out of bed and I'm feeling well rested.
That often?
Okay, I do not envy you. Hey, but like I told you offline, like you work Saturdays, and Saturdays is just the super chill time to work. So I don't have that. I always have at least one person with me in the office. So
it's a half day, so it's
so that's
on my own, get on with it, and generally listen to an audiobook. So
that's good. Hey, and like I said, nobody annoys you, right? Also, like I said, offline coffee you cook as your own. So
yeah, but vending machine cooks it. Although it did have
okay.
All of the company's websites fall over on Saturday, so that was good.
Yeah, we got the vending machine got to us by the company too. So we're pretty happy with that too. So also the coffee, we don't have to bring our own and everything. That's pretty good. But dude, first things first, do you have anything new in your collection?
Not really, to be honest. What was the last thing I bought? It probably. Oh, actually, it was an eBay thing. It hasn't shown up. It might show up tomorrow.
Okay.
You might have seen it. It's the Overwatch Maglev Snowball figure.
Okay.
So
if you got it, the better.
No, I don't have it, but I have another version of the same character. So it's this little guy.
Oh, that's a cutie.
So May's little sidekick Snowball from Overwatch, but it's a smaller version.
Little bit more to the.
Oh yeah, so I'm looking on this.
Yeah, no problem. That's due to the cutout, but there it is. Excellent. That's a cute one. Looks like Wonder on 8th Street, like those little UFO living forms. You know what I mean?
No. There we go. This one lights up.
That is cute. Like this was the name from the German film. I don't quite know the for the German version. I don't quite know the name for the original. It's from the 80s. It's with Jessica Tandy. It's, I believe, in New York, like in the.
Is it Batteries Not Included?
That's the name. Batteries Not Included, right? And that's where this guy reminded me of.
That's the film that seems like a Spielberg film. Everyone thinks it's a Spielberg film, but it's not a Spielberg film.
It isn't. It's been so long since I've watched this film.
Anyway, I don't know if you had it.
It's a great movie. I need to rewatch that again. I don't know. Does Netflix or Amazon Prime have it? I don't have any other subscription service.
I don't know, to be honest, actually. But otherwise, I've just you know what it's like. It's post-Christmas. Everyone's trying to save money. So yeah, the last expensive bit was the replacement hot end for the 3D printer. So
Man, I envy you with that. I really do. Like 3D printing. I actually, you know that I did the little 3D engineered Terminator arm, right?
I definitely remember you working on something.
Yeah.
Really is shot.
Yeah, I have it done fully, but I never gotten to 3D printing that. So maybe we need to talk about that. I have it all in
You know
solid.
how long it takes to print something, don't you?
I would so. But the thing is that I only would maybe ask you to later on if we would look like a knuckle or something. You know, if that if you yeah, if you could even work with the files, like it's solid parts. So SLD PRTs.
Okay. I've only worked with STLs through Cura, but
STLs.
but I haven't looked at making anything. I've just used other people's.
Okay.
While I get in the hang of it.
Yeah, we need. I try and look it up tomorrow or something. It's not a big rush, but it's cool to know. Nevertheless, it's cool to know. So and the other thing you're getting is a different version of that little dude you just showed us from eBay, right? When is that due?
Possibly tomorrow, possibly Friday, according to eBay, but that could be what eBay's saying. That's whether the person has taken a little trip down to the post office is a matter entirely.
That's also always very cool when Amazon says, yeah, your package is on the way to this and there, it's here. And UPS says, oh yeah, we were there. We put it this and there. And then you have FedEx and saying, hey, we were just there. We were sitting on your thumb and you didn't open up. Like all those different statuses, like 4 different statuses out of 5 people. What's up with that?
Yeah, actually, that's just reminded me from when I was on holiday. It's like
what?
Oh, so I was on holiday. I'm just trying to remember the entire story. So I ordered a couple of bits off Amazon. I'd gone out for the day. There were still people in the house.
Okay.
They said, "Oh yeah, we attempted to deliver it twice. There was no one there. It's now sitting in the depot." And it's like, I'm not spending my holiday driving randomly around Florida trying to find out where your depot is.
No.
There were people in the house. So it's like USPS telephone system. Am I allowed to swear?
What the hell?
Oh, I can swear. Excellent. It's fucking shit.
Oh, you know, you can swear all you want. I thought you were just still in it. I never actually had to bother with the USPS telephone system, but the mail support isn't good.
No, the USPS is crap. So I went to Amazon. Amazon have very good customer service.
Okay.
I guess you can afford to do that when you don't pay your taxes.
And have people jumping out of windows.
That too. But their customer service is very good. So I don't think that's a fair trade-off. But yeah. And they said, oh, yeah, we'll refund it and you can order another one. And then, like, after they tried to call the USPS and go, oh, yeah, it's at the depot. Like 20 minutes after I hung up the phone with them, it was sitting in the mailbox outside. So absolute fuck. Then they're going, because we refunded you, can you send it back? And it's like, no. Why? And it's like, we'll charge you in January. And it's like, that's fine. That gives me 2 months.
That's ridiculous. I mean, that's a cool thing you can get, you know, when you actually get something afterwards, when it was kind of, I don't know, it just vanished into the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah. There was no way it would ever come up, and you were reimbursed for your pain, for your money and everything, and then all of a sudden it still turns up, and you got it for free. That's always nice.
Well, I mean, I'm paying for it. It just gave me an extra 2 months to pay it off. So that's
awesome.
I don't know if they've actually charged me for it or what. I even sent them an email saying, "Hey, you can charge me for this now. I can't send it back." And they go, "Oh, we can't actually rebill you for this. You'll have to let the timer run out." It's like, okay, that's fine. So as long as you know it's happening, but it's like very, very strange.
That's ridiculous. Like with the Amazon support, it's kind of weird. Like it's always on a I don't know, stiff time frame. Like I bought this camera, you know, it's a cheap version of the Logitech C920. And essentially it worked good, but now it just stopped working. Like I needed to go back to my old camera, because this one, I don't know, it crashed. There was no way to take a picture or a video. The software was shit. And I tried to hit up Amazon today, and you know, when you go real deep into it, into the help center and everything, and you put up your order, and on the side there it says, okay, you can send it back or you can reimburse, and there's nothing. There's no opportunity. The time frame is cut off, so I will now take this to a secondhand store and maybe see if I can bullshit a bullshitter.
Well,
Maybe I'm lucky, but let's get back to a little program.
Let's not talk about Amazon's customer service.
No, that's not the topic. It's supposed to be a little bit more positive than that. Also with eBay,
about their customer service.
I mean, I guess you can turn every negative theme or topic into a positive one.
But yeah, it sucks about the cut-off period. But that's actually, speaking to them, they've all been really good. So
okay, at least that.
I want to return the action figures because Diva's face was printed about an inch lower than it should have been.
Ow! That looks weird.
Yeah, I sent you a picture for that, and it was like, that was weird, and it's like,
I believe I remember that. I believe you sent it to me.
Yeah. It was like looking at thinking, something's not quite right on this one. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And it's like, wow, that's for quality control again.
I think the point is that probably there is no crossover of Overwatch and the Goonies, right? Because Diva looking like Sloth is, I believe,
not that I'm aware of. We're getting our wonderful crossover of Transformers and Terminator.
Yeah.
That's going to be a thing, but it can't be any worse than Terminator versus Superman, because that was awful.
That was
I think I bitched about that last time as well. It's just like, that is, you read it and you think, why did anyone think this was going to be a good idea?
That's what I almost think with every crossover. Like, it's only always a cash cow. Also, Transformers and Ghostbusters. They did a Ecto 1 Ghostbuster Transformer now. It's called Ectotron, and this is only for that. And the Terminator Superman crossover was at least in parts somewhere a little bit interesting. Like, Steel, actually the leader of the Resistance with his whole armor and everything, that was kind of cool. That's
the only interesting thing.
That's it. And the I don't know, the cringingly funny interesting part is, like, back in the present, like, all those Terminators getting blasted out, like every time a stronger alloy and another jetpack and more weapons, and they get fucked up into a pulp nevertheless. That was the funny part. But
so bad.
It wasn't also the drawing style wasn't for me. I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
It was ugly. The Terminators were completely mischaracterized as well. I'm going to say everything I'm doing like we don't do in the movies.
Yeah, I think you could really say that.
It's like, yeah, it's fine. There can be a silent antagonist. It works well. You had 16 lines of dialogue for a whole movie.
Yeah, but I would say I wanna bring the spotlight a little bit back to you. You have your professional Facebook site, and you have your little Instagram with a whooping one post. There's one picture of it.
Look, Nix is meant to be dealing with that one. That's her department. She's social media.
Gotcha. Okay. But nevertheless, where does Horrucide come from? That's your nickname. That's what I also said. Okay, today it's featuring Dan Hawk's Horrucide. Where does Horrucide come from?
Do you remember? And I think it was early 2000s, late 90s. Do you remember a PC game called Nocturne?
Yeah.
It's from that. I think it's from. So long ago. I think it's the second mission, which goes a bit H.P. Lovecraft, and it's just a just like a throwaway line where they're talking about an old case, where they're talking about a werewolf Horrucide, which I think is where the stranger went in and killed a nest of werewolves.
Okay.
So it's, in that, it's kind of used. It's like a genocide against a supernatural species.
Ah, okay, cool.
It's been so long since I played that game. It was a good game, and I'm scared. You know where you're scared to go back and play it in case it's not as good as you remember.
Yeah.
Um,
And also when you get back to a game and you're like, oh man, I really need to start from scratch through all the tutorials because I don't know anything about the controls anymore.
and to be honest, those controls I imagine will be very janky.
Oh yeah.
Still, I mean, they were a bit janky back then, especially with the jumping puzzles. It was just the whole atmosphere, and they did the first of those Blair Witch spin-off games.
Oh yeah, they did those two.
Rust and Par.
Yeah.
There was a Coffin Rock one and one about Ellie Kedwood, but I think it was Terminal Reality. I did the first one, which had a crossover with Nocturne, and then they went and did the Blood Rain games, which also seem to have died a death.
A crossover into a crossover? Like, huh? They crossed over into Nocturne and then into Blood Rain?
Nocturne crossed over into Blair Witch crossed over into Nocturne.
Okay.
And then Blood Rain is kind of a spin-off, which was a take on one of the other Spook House operatives. Svetlana became Blood Rain.
Okay.
A super early trailer where it was still going to be Svetlana. And then they just turned it into its whole new IP. Because Nocturne ended on a hell of a cliffhanger, which has never been resolved. Like,
that's fucked up.
And probably never will, which is a shame, but it's probably more interesting now than what they ever would have come up with.
I mean, sometimes you got the fan community behind that, so sometimes the writers get behind that and then do at least kind of a, I don't know, fan solution for that, like, I don't know, script in PDF form, and they release it on some form of site and everybody can read it, and at least you have a, I don't know, like a theoretical payoff to it all, but nevertheless, it's still in visuals. It's still a cliffhanger. You never get it in official form, like you can complete a Blu-ray set or anything. So that's bad, I think.
It's never as satisfying, and
no.
I think in the early 2000s as well, the voice actor who played the stranger had died as well, and he had such a distinctive voice.
Okay.
It would be so hard to replace. I mean, it was a bit like when they brought back the American McGee's Alice game.
Oh, right.
Even though they had the same voice actor for the Cheshire Cat, it seemed like we couldn't recapture what he did on that first game, and it just sounded off.
Gotcha.
And that's just meant to be okay. That's not me doing anything towards. That's no.
No, I know what you mean.
And I'm just being very clear on that one.
No, I mean, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Like even though it's official and everything, like when something changes, like the voice or anything, there's always like this case of something is wrong, and there's some, I don't know, like almost like an extremely put like a dislodged continuity kind of thing. Like this, like sometimes sounds like a different character. So I get what you mean. Yeah. I do get what you mean.
It was a shame, and that game wasn't that great, to be honest. Unfortunately, after waiting 10 years.
I like the original Alice, and I played the Alice Returns, and that was actually cool. I like that.
I didn't like that one. That's too many jumping puzzles, and there was something, I don't know. I didn't like the. We're definitively saying that this is Alice Little, the girl it was based on. Oh, and she's a prostitute.
Yeah.
In the whorehouse. It's like, don't
just do that.
not to a historical person who wasn't, who wasn't that. I mean, if that's.
Yeah, they perverted it a little bit. It's almost like they took I don't know, like McFarlane Toys. Here those what was it? Twisted Christmas. You had the.
Yeah, I think I know Mezco did Twisted Fairy Tales like way back in the day. There was like
McFarlane Toys. McFarlane Toys did Twisted Fairy Tales. They did fucked up Christmas thing
as well, because they came in big diorama boxes.
I don't know that.
Pretty sure it was Mezco.
But they did. No, I believe they even did Oz too.
I know McFarlane did Oz.
Yeah,
I mean,
and the Clive Barker Tortured Souls.
yeah, because they couldn't get Hellraiser at the time, and then
And they also didn't get the facial likeness for Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is why we got Pizza Face 1.0 before we got the 2.0 by Hot Toys.
yeah. That said, the NECA one, when it eventually came out, was sculpted by the same guy.
Yeah.
And you can pop the head off that and put it on the McFarlane one.
I know. Wasn't it Tank Man from Sideshow Collectors?
It may have been, because I think he also sculpted the big chap alien, didn't he? The 18-inch one.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. There it goes full circle. It's just it's a small town, even in fandom terms.
Yeah, I mean, there's only kind of so many iconic licenses these days. They just keep rehashing the old ones.
But it's also, I also mean sculpting wise, like when people are a household name, you know, and over a conversation like this, you start to talk about, oh yeah, Tank Man, you know, that he was pretty present in the Sideshow Collectors. Like there was, I think he may have been one, if not the first dude from an actual company that was approachable. You could really talk to that guy, and he was actually giving you answers, you know? Like when I think about in today's age, like with third-party transformers, or even maybe also higher-end Hot Toys, they are kind of approachable. Like they have their Instagram accounts, like JC Hong, the sculptor, and everything, but they rarely answer. So in reality, they're not really that approachable.
I imagine they have to toe a certain amount of company line as well. Can't be seen to bring the company. And let's say with Hot Toys especially, you're also dealing with Disney as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, you probably don't want to do anything to inadvertently risk that business relationship.
Yeah, no, especially not. But since we are on, like I said, a full circle with community, like, do you remember how we actually got to know each other?
So you said Terminator Files. I thought it was originally the Terminator 3 forum, but I might be misremembering.
No, it was Terminator Files. I hit you up. I hit you up with a.
Yeah, you wanted an autograph, didn't you? Not me.
No, I hit you up with a private message on the T600, on the Hot Toys T600. I asked you, yo, I saw you got the T600 by Hot Toys, and your first answer to me is, mate, it's beautiful, but take care, it's highly addictive.
Yeah. I think I'd also say be careful with the minigun on that, because I think I snapped the handle off not long after.
Right. That actually lost my mind. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were good times. Like back then, the Terminator Files forum were like way more lively. Like today, it's like, I don't know. Does it still exist?
I don't know if the forum still exists. I think Vic still updates the website, but I don't think he's particularly bothered about keeping up with news. But he quite likes the collectible stuff that's still related to the original two.
He also went back hard into collectibles, right? Like he's going all in for props and everything.
Yeah, all 1/1 scale, which is, you must have a bigger house than me. So
way bigger. It's also interesting that everybody.
It's like that. I don't know if it's that one guy in Australia, and it's got these amazing 1/1 props, but it all seems to be in his bedroom. And it's just like,
damn.
It's like, I wish I could remember, because it's one hell of an impressive collection, but it's in such a small area. It's like, I think sometimes these things need a bit of space to fully appreciate them.
I think so too. It's also with Transformers. Like people have some people have so many pieces, and it's so impressive, but they're like on floating shelves in the whole room, and it's all full. Like,
yeah,
if they got the pleasure out of it, if they like it, you know, they win. That is all that matters. If they enjoy it, that's all good. Like to me, I would be like Avalanche out of plastic. You know, how would you actually make out a, I don't know, a premium piece or something that is cherished or really sought after, like something rare? I don't know. I would have a hard time. Like, I think, okay, I could do more. I look around, but I see, okay, it's not as much as it could be, but I like it. Like I have it all discerned. I have my RoboCop, I have my Mortal Kombat, and I have my Terminator. It's all in portions, you
Yeah,
know?
I think you got to let it breathe. To be honest, I think sometimes you need to realize when enough is enough.
Or too much is too much.
Yeah, and that as well. And I kind of stepped back a little because I think I've got it to a stage where I want my collection because I'm
Yeah.
not really buying stuff like I used to, which has been very good for the bank account.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, a lot of this stuff is getting so expensive. The quality, or the sculpting, the detail on that is getting so much better. But I remember my first Hot Toys was £70, which was the Wolf Predator from Alien
Oh.
Predator Requiem.
And they re-released a new one, and it's now for, I don't know, 300, 400 on aftermarket.
I think that's the third version of the Wolf, because they did a slightly retooled version, I believe, and then they've done a new version more recently.
Yeah, they did a new version, and the first one they did two in parallel, like the one with the full cleaner kit and the one a little bit of a slimmer one with only one shoulder cannon, I believe.
Yeah, I know there was definitely a problem with the first one because the way it was sculpted, you couldn't really have both cannons displayed because they didn't arc wide enough.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I mean, I think with my one, his mesh has actually been pulled down into a little leotard between his legs and knotted off because it kept riding up.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it wasn't like the super expensive collectibles that it was now. I mean, this was back when you had to assemble your Hot Toys because they didn't have the license for figures. They had the license for model kits. So they pulled a fast one.
That's interesting.
So that was like when they had the big box. I'm trying to get it all. See. The refresh on this is terrible.
Yeah.
It was in the big boxes with it's like the size of a Monopoly board and twice as thick.
Yeah.
And yeah, there were model kits. They weren't all pre-built up like they are now.
That's super cool. I love that they did that. I would actually think it would be cool if they would go back to that, because all this premium stuff, it's all good and fair, but it's now only Star Wars and Hot Toys and only the super expensive like die-cast pieces, and the Star Wars with the exchangeable arm with the battery compartment is in and everything, but all those old franchises don't get any love. So
I'm super glad I'm not fully into Star Wars. I can watch them, I can enjoy them, but I don't feel the need to buy anything.
Same here. Like I was.
Same with Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. I have my Hulkbuster and a few other pieces, and I'm super happy with those. And at one point I was like, that's also excellent. I wanted to go into what we're collecting either way, so that's actually perfect. But with all the stuff, Avengers, I was like, okay, I want a definitive Avengers version, but there's no way you do that. Like they did Avengers for every movie. They did Avengers for every movie, and they did concept versions. Where is this gonna end? Like there's no way.
That's it. And I think once you realize that's what's going on, that there is never going to be an end.
That's the thing.
You then realize it's probably time to step back.
Yeah. Because I mean, the sad part is there's only an end when someone like Carrie Fisher actually dies, and there are no more going to be any longer any layers.
Yeah, tell that to Peter Cushing's family.
Yeah, you're right about that.
That won't stop the mouse anymore.
I mean, this is interesting. You always showed me like the Corridor Crew guys, with those are so interesting videos. Like when they said, okay, the Grand Moff Tarkin, it's done so well, but there's this little part that is just missing where it is perfect, and that they actually deep faked Leia better onto the actress than ILM actually did. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like I say, I think the deep fakes are going to be the way to go on these
it
things.
Seems so. It seems that way. I mean, the best out of it currently is Home Stallone.
I still haven't sat down and watched that yet. I know you sent it to me. I love Harry and The Shining. I liked seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger in Universal Soldier.
Yeah.
When they got an impressionist in, which I think definitely helped.
I mean, I also like Stallone in Terminator 2.
Yeah, it's just so impressive.
It works, and it works so easy, and it can be done by pretty much anybody. At least when you kind of have the power to your workstation.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if it's people doing it on YouTube, like I say, it's probably going to show my ignorance on these things. That's like I say, you probably don't need the same output power as it does to do a transformer.
No, like all these three-dimensional pieces with all the moving parts, there's like nothing. There's like the super background algorithm that kind of mathematically recalculates the facial structure and then puts it on the face where it's going to, and that seems to be rather light, I heard. So
yeah, I mean,
on the PC, it's impressive.
If people can do it at home and upload it to various adult websites, it's slightly less process intensive. Let's go with that. Yeah. Weirdly, I believe the law has jumped on that one pretty fucking quick, which is quite odd for a technology film, but I can totally understand why.
Hey, now that you say that, with the adult platforms, like, do you remember the C-Lab fake culture of the 90s? Like all those
stuff like C-Lab and Space Ghost. Am I misremembering?
No, the celebrity fake, like fandom from the 90s, where they took pornographic pictures and put celebrity photos on there.
Oh no.
So
that must have been you.
So that was a thing that actually existed, and I'm actually wondering that they don't do that with actual porno movies and then put the face of. I mean, that would be the new dimension to this, you know. This is weird, but it would be the new dimension of it. So
yeah, they're doing it. That's why they've leapt on it really quickly.
Okay.
These are not happy.
Damn. Oh hell. Okay. Yeah. I thought of something, but apparently I didn't. There was someone else's quicker. But okay, dude.
Let's move away from pornography.
A little bit. It is an adult channel, but we don't want to push it too adult.
No, that's probably more adult than intended. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But collection-wise, an absolute grail. Does it exist for you? Do you have it?
Well, the grail is always going to be the 1/1 T800 endoskeleton with the original breastplate and design.
Yes.
Genesis crap. Hips and the spinal column as well. But yeah, so that's probably the grail piece. But I'm happy with a lot of the stuff I've got, and like you're saying, going back to getting definitive version, something to represent a character. And so I think I've gone beyond the point of needing. I don't need to have 10 versions of Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator, because this one is wearing the black shirt, this one is wearing the grey shirt.
Yeah,
I don't have to have every iteration of that on the shelf.
No.
I mean, if you do, great. But I think for me personally, I got to the point I was buying it to buy it. I wasn't buying it because it made me happy.
I know what you mean.
And because I think I might have complained about it in the last one as well. And it's like stuff with Hot Toys. It's like their die-cast RoboCop. Beautiful piece. Didn't feel the need for the one with the chair. But it's like, as soon as that had shipped, it was like, oh yeah, we're doing one with Alex Murphy now as well. And it's like, well, I'm not buying it again.
Yeah, I did because Alex Murphy and because super battle damage.
Yeah, it's like I don't need that, and that I don't like that business practice. It's just like, be honest. If this one's in the pipeline, I might have waited, but I kind of feel like you played me for a sucker.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't like that, and it put me off buying them, because it's like, do I buy this one, or are they going to put out a better one 2 months after this is shipped? Do I wait?
And apparently they didn't.
No.
They didn't. That's that. There's so far there's no more RoboCop coming, and I'm happy. I got these 3 ones, and I can do the fully armored battle damage RoboCop with the pieces from the clean diecast, and I can just go full battle damage from the end with his helmet off and the full clean. So and I got my at 209. Like that's in RoboCop terms, my 1.6 at 209. That's a grail.
Yeah,
Like
which is great because I mean, I think they did like the Arnie T800. They did their really good clean version of that.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh, we'll ship that. Oh, now we're doing the DX version with the rolling eye system and the skull socket.
Yeah.
I would have bought that one instead, but I'm not buying two, and I'm not going to flip the first one. It's like, you know what?
And especially the funniest part about it is actually that only the pants and the jacket are actual leather. The belt is actually still pleather, and this is now disintegrating. I had to find the closest possible belt I could from my MMS 117 T800. Because
I haven't touched mine, so I'm not in case it falls apart in my hands.
I recommend you don't do it because this will probably go down to dust.
No, I'm to be honest, in terms of Terminator, I was super happy with that Enterbay damaged quarter scale.
Me too.
Which is such a beautiful piece.
It is,
and it's kind of like, I don't think I'm going to get any better than that. And
the sculpt is the best Schwarzenegger sculpt there is out there.
Yeah, and if there is, there's going to be so little in it.
Yeah,
it's not going to be worth the jump in price at the jump in time this cost. I mean, it would have been nice to have got the quarter scale T1000 to go with it, but
this is actually still affordable. This is actually pretty affordable still.
Oh, is it? Okay, I might have to have a look then.
Me too.
But I've not bought any Terminator for a while, and I think one of the few people who like Dark Fate. But
yeah, the last thing Terminator I actually touched was my quarter scale endoskeleton for Hot Toys, and this has become quite unstable. Like the joints are pretty loose. Like I'm happy for that actual crotch clamp. It actually holds it up. Like when you I don't know, I don't know, like jank a few joints like more into each other, you know, and you can stiffen it up a little bit, but it's not really enough. And as I fiddled it in the back there to show all the articulation, like I held it and the back of the body just went. Bleh.
Yeah.
So that's like
sorry about that when you're paying that much.
That's like super bad. And I would love for the clean Enterbay T800, the quarter scale, because that's also beautiful. It's not as good on the sculpt as the battle damaged, but it still looks so good.
Yeah, I mean, I've been lucky with my Hot Toys. The new ones, like the rubber one, like the Marcus one.
I don't actually have that.
Still seems to be okay through the battle damage.
Yeah.
But I know there's definitely a problem with those older figures. I know, like the really early Aliens had rubber skin.
Yeah, the Sarah Connor has rubber skin over her arms, and I saw that breaking everywhere. Mine is great. I have no problem.
They go on the shelf. I don't touch them.
Yeah, me neither. Like I always think about maybe closing off the Kallax, like having some kind of, I don't know, railing with an actual door in front of it to have it, like, I don't know, close off the air a little bit. But on the other hand, it seems like it's rather dry, so I'm not stressing it. So that's good. But a little bit back onto schedule. Do you have a weird talent, and if so, is it something you can tell us, or is it something where you say, I want to keep that to myself?
A weird talent.
Yeah, something that is not where you say, okay, great, I can do this. I'm the only one that does it, but I can't do shit with it. It's worth nothing, but it's there. It's a thing.
I don't know, to be honest. My hypermobility freaks people out.
Okay, see there. What can you do with it?
Oh, literally, I can just touch every part of my own back. So it's not that exciting.
Oh, that's good. I mean, when the back itches and you can touch it, that fucking sucks. So
yeah, I never have to worry about that.
The thing is also there are furniture corners everywhere, but those hurt more than they actually scratch. And the old fingernails just do the trick. Okay, interesting. That is cool. Some hypermobility I got too, but it's stiffened down over the years. Like I was able due to it to actually do a split. But this is down now. Although I still can raise my head to the point where I could actually kick a person's head off. So I think this still counts. and big persons that is, because I'm still 6'4". So so there's that.
You're that tall.
So but also like fingers, like this and stuff. Can you do this also? But then
it's more in the shoulders than anything else, to be honest. So.
Okay, that's interesting. Very funny. A partial hyperflexibility.
Yeah, not good for joints, to be honest. It makes them quite achy.
You know that. The next question is actually already answered when we look in the back. Inbox or outbox collector?
It depends, to be honest. But a lot of it, more of it's been coming out of the box now, so I can enjoy it. I'm not thinking about future value and resale and someone else enjoying it. It's like I want to enjoy it. I mean,
Me neither.
But Funko Pops, they're about a tenner here.
Yeah.
So the variants I'll keep, but like the main Overwatch cast ones, they're just all out and grouped together. Hot Toys come out of the box. I have got some Roids still in the box, but that's just because I've been too lazy to take them out.
Yeah, actually, I have a few inbox too. I have the Terminator 1 Kyle Reese by NECA, signed by Tom Woodruff Jr. So that I kept. Maybe I can get it signed by Michael T. Bean too. Not talking about the person here. I know your history with him.
If he hasn't been drinking, I'm sure he's fine.
yeah, you told me that. That's actually quite a shame. I was
a bit disappointing. Like I say, everyone has bad days, so it's like, I'm sure he's a cool guy. It's just it was like when I met Neil Gaiman. To be honest, it's I'm sure he's a very cool guy as well, but he just did not seem in the mood to be greeting people at the event he was throwing to promote his book and was charging people, and I found him a bit rude. And when you're an award-winning author and you have trouble spelling Dan, it raises some questions.
Oh, really?
He started writing damn and caught himself. So yeah, I've got a copy of Ocean at the End of the Lane where he started writing my name wrong. So.
Okay, that you didn't quite tell me. Only that he wasn't his best possible version that day. But
yeah, it's it's kind of frustrating because you like their work and you do that, and it kind of puts you off.
Yeah,
it's a shame. So yeah, sometimes I do believe it's like don't meet your heroes, but other people I've met, they've just been super cool. Michael Ironside, super awesome guy, and like I say, they may not be having a good day too, but some of them realise, people are paying to meet you. Maybe their only opportunity to do it for them to do it, and say, you're an actor and you're taking people's money, so just be pleasant with them.
That's it.
Michael Ironside, amazing. Brian Tocci, who was in, I'm probably mispronouncing that, who did the voice for Leonardo and all 3 of the original Ninja Turtles, and was in the Police Academy. Super awesome guy as well. Really, really happy, really friendly.
Cool.
Lance Henriksen was a really cool guy as well. So
I never got to meet him.
No. I imagine he's still doing the circuit, so do it while you can.
Yeah, I absolutely will. Also Peter Weller, since Peter Weller is now actually still also doing conventions and also went to Germany.
I think you'll find that's Dr. Peter Weller.
Of course. I'm sorry.
Because he'll remind you, apparently.
Is that the case? You go over here, you say Mr. Weller, and he's like, Dr. Weller.
Yeah, I have heard that. I know he signs autographs, Dr. Peter Weller, and it may be like a Dr. Evil thing. It's like I did 6 years of Evil medical school to be called Mr.
RoboCop.
Yes.
Nice. That's actually quite funny. I would actually do that. But on the hero side, I actually get you. Like I met Kevin Nash starting off last year.
Seems to be doing quite a few of those, doesn't he?
He's doing many ones. He did a good course of Europe. He was also in Great Britain and America last year. He went all out before his operation on the knee.
Yeah.
And now he's actually showed a picture of himself before the operation, and his right leg was like mangled. It went on an angle to the inside, and he was like, I don't know. It looked like his whole body had like a curvature of like 5 degrees all in itself. And the next picture, it was similar on both sides. There was just a sense of it was all resolved. And he said like, this is the reason why I stopped wrestling and do everything, because my body was crippled with the knee. Like they opened up his full knee, put everything out, put a new knee in, and now he's actually went through a full body transformation, and now he actually can have fun again. So
that says
that's amazing. Also stem cells therapy. He got color back into his hair. Like the follicles actually started working again.
That must be nice.
It seems that way. I'm not one to complain. I mean, it's getting a little gray here, like a little bit of sunlight here. Now it's gray.
So let me find that tiny violin for you.
But yeah, I mean that's amazing. Like full knee replacement and stem cell, and now he said it's probably gotten him 20 years back on his clock. So there's that. That's amazing.
Maybe he'll be back playing the Super Shredder again. Who knows?
Interesting idea. Interesting idea. But I don't quite know. I mean, he also was Master Blast of Steel and Vinny Vegas and Oz on New Japan Pro Wrestling. He fought beside Yushin Thunder Liger. So
he was in the first John Wick as well, wasn't he?
He was in there too, right? As the not enforcer,
he was a bouncer, wasn't he?
Yeah, the bouncer. That was the word I was missing. A bouncer. So he's done quite some things to his name, and he was super cool. But dude, you never know how much 6'8" is when you really stand in front of a guy that is 6'8". You know.
I can imagine, yeah.
I got a photo with him. I got an autograph with him on a Kevin Nash figure, and I talked to him, and I actually, because of my shit, and I know his pain with his knee, I actually asked him how his knee is, and he's like, "Yeah, it's good, man, but let me tell you, the first few months, no doggy style." Because you can't take the pain on the knee, so that was pretty cool. And he was super cool, like really awesome. Like, man, I failed to tell him how much it meant to me, because I was kind of awestruck a little bit, because he was my favorite in the 90s, you know. But it's like I got a picture, you know, and I met that dude. Like this is getting a big grin into my face, so I'm happy with that.
It's all you want, really, isn't it? I mean, it's 30 seconds of their time, and it's not free for you, and it's just like, you know, that's a memory that's going to stay with you forever.
Exactly. It just makes months. It not makes your day. It makes months, because you have that in your head. And when you have a bad day and you're walking by the frame and you see that picture,
that's it. It's like and now you're telling me you've met it. You've had a cool guy. So I, you know, had a couple of not amazing experiences, but you know, you'll go on and tell that too. And it's like, you're not saying they're bad people. It just wasn't
exactly
a good experience, and you feel a little bit cheated, a little bit disappointed because of someone you admired, and it just wasn't a degree of civil interaction we're liking. Because I think I mentioned last time, it's like, because sitting next to Michael Bean was Carl Weathers.
Oh, cool.
And it's like, I wish I'd queued for Carl. It's like, it's like he was laughing, he was joking, he was making everyone's day. So yeah. Like,
yeah,
not even meeting Carl Weathers, I came away thinking, fuck, Carl Weathers is even more awesome than I thought he was.
Okay.
So yeah. Apparently not a son of a bitch.
That's good. That's good to hear. But I think Carl Weathers is one of the people that probably don't have too much business in Germany. So I have the feeling I won't meet Carl Weathers, but it would be great.
He's in The Mandalorian.
He is in The Mandalorian. That is true, but I think he never was in Germany. Like there are certain people that never went to Germany. Sam Jones was the first time in Germany when I met him in, I believe it was 2017.
Did he bring his own voice?
What did he?
So, Sam Jones, that's the Flash Gordon guy.
That's the Flash Gordon, right?
It was, yeah.
And he signed my soundtrack. And
I guess it'd be dubbed. You'd be dubbed into German for you anyway, wasn't it?
what was he?
The story I heard is he's done all the acting, but in the English version, that's not his voice.
No, that's not his voice. Like his voice, also with Schwarzenegger and everything, that's never their voice.
No, I mean, like in the English version as well.
What, really?
That's not his voice. Apparently, it's like he had a bad experience making. He didn't come back to do the ADR or something, so like his entire voice is replaced.
Oh, okay, I didn't know
Another
that.
actor. So it's like I think if you watch the English version of Flash Gordon, that's not Sam Jones's voice.
Oh, I got that totally wrong. What you asked? Okay, no, I didn't know that.
I would say for Germany, he'd be dubbed into German anyway, wouldn't he?
Yeah. But because I had the thought in my head like, okay, is he that good in German that he dubs himself? But that it wasn't even his real voice, like in the English version. That's new. That I didn't know that.
I believe that's what I heard. I mean, how do you find a German Brian Blessed?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Like his original voice is like, "Hey, you're golden pony boy." That's like super cool, and he was also very, very cool.
Brian Blessed is a national treasure.
That he is true to the point. Do you have a favorite shelf?
A favorite shelf?
Yeah.
It's probably the one I built the Predator diorama on, just because I built the Predator diorama on it. Because I can look at it thinking, I made that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think my Mortal Kombat one is also my favorite because I went all out. I did the ground with sand and blood, and I did the pillars with the chains and everything. It's just a nice background to figures and gives it more life and gives the figures more life and more quality, and just it's not like, okay, it's a wood shelf, there's a figure standing on it. No.
Yeah, that's it turns into a bit more than just here is some wood with some plastic on it.
Exactly. So a little bit of a philosophical question, if I may. I wrote this down, and I hope you get what I'm saying, and also let's see if there is coming out of something. Like community bullshit. If you could have influence over, or really have influence on telling people what they don't or should do when communicating with people in the community, commenting in any posts or whatsoever, like some kind of behavioral standard, what would it be that you would tell people? Like,
I mean,
guys,
you'd like to hope the behavioral standard is just don't be a prick to people. Just like listen to what they're saying. You don't agree, you don't have to be rude or aggressive. I mean, obviously, if they've come out and said something fucking horrible, by all means, give them all the shit you want. But it's otherwise, it's just like, just because you don't like the idea doesn't mean you necessarily have to dislike the person.
That's it.
Yeah,
like that meme where it says, just because we don't like the opinion of another person doesn't mean we hate it. We need to relearn.
Yeah, like I say, if it's something I like original Star Trek, I like Next Generation, so it's not like, well, you're a fucking idiot then.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not saying something actively hateful, it's like, you know what, that's cool. Tell me why you like it, and I'll tell you why you like this, and appreciate it. It's like just don't be an asshole to people for no goddamn reason.
Yeah, exactly. Like that mindset I said before. You like it, you win, and there's no against it. You can go down into a nice humanly discourse and just say, okay, I dislike that, but I get your point for liking it. It's just not for me or something. But not that I love mangoes and I dislike oranges. Okay, so you're not telling me you hate oranges. That's not what I said. What the hell?
Yeah, it's that.
Hey, Kato, what's going on? Happy to have you, man.
It's that straw man argument.
It is, and I just read that. It's also this horrible mindset today. Like when you have like this announcement on Craigslist or wherever, I'm selling an apple cake. There are 5 apples in it, and it costs $20. What kind of cake is it? How many apples are in there? How much does it cost? This is just idiotic. So 100% get your point.
Yeah.
Kato just says, I love oranges and mangoes. There's the Swiss approach, 100% neutral. But
too.
I actually have a problem with oranges. Like they're big, and that peeling method, like from mandarins, it just doesn't traverse too well to oranges, I think.
You should check out the Eddie Izzard sketch about trying to eat oranges.
Okay.
It's just like trying to eat oranges with like Das Boot.
Get me the link later. Get me the link.
If I can find it, I'm sure it's out there. I think it's from Definitive Article.
Okay.
It's been a while since I watched it. It's just very funny. It was like no one can ever look sexy eating an orange.
No, absolutely not. Like yeah. you have to rip it apart, and all those white pieces you have this in between your teeth. And the fun part is the white of your teeth is a different white than the orange white, so you always look like, dude, how long didn't you brush your teeth? That's like impossible. It's like super impossible.
I have that anyway. I've got a calcium deposit on one of my teeth, so I have a really big white splotch on one of them anyway. So.
Kato's actually plugging into the topic quite well. He says he hates bananas, and he hates anyone that doesn't agree that bananas are terrible. That's also the internet way. That's the internet way nowadays. But I actually grew quite fond of bananas, but tomatoes are still not my jam.
No, I'm not a fan of tomatoes. I like things you can make from tomatoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Although that's an interesting question. Tomato or tomato?
Tomato, I'm English.
Oh, you English almost exclusively say tomato?
Yeah. Because we're English.
Because we're English. Because like what I heard, I would actually say tomato.
We take a tomato, we wrap it in aluminium, and we take the lift.
That's right. It's also a bonnet, not a hood.
And we do maths because there's more than one type.
That's also interesting what I just said with hood and bonnet. Like in America, it's the same word for hood, like short for neighborhood, and the hood is also the bonnet. But
well, I would call this a hood. A bonnet would be like one of those things you sort of see, women wearing, like in old timey photographs. It's like a hood and then like a big frill. Like
that's more of that's what more like a hooded cape to me.
Some sort of Puritan de l'officer.
That's good. De l'officer also spits venom, then frightened.
Yes, absolutely. But it's like you get like an Easter bonnet. It's it would be a piece of headwear, but this is a hood.
Yeah, I meant for a car, a hood and a bonnet.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about headwear.
But that's that too. That you're right about that too. That's why I didn't chime in too early.
Okay. Yeah, we would call it a bonnet, but obviously because we get so much American TV, you can say hood and we'll know what you mean. Like where Americans say candy, we'll say sweets. But we'll know because it's quite funny when my ex was going through American passport control. They sort of said, "Oh, have you got any, fruits or vegetables?" And she had some like fruit sweets. And she said, "Oh, I've got these fruit sweets," and like she's looking like, "What are sweets?" And I said, "Go, it's candy. It's candy." And she's like, "Oh, okay, just go on through."
That's funny. That's kind of funny, especially. I think it's especially funny then when you think that we were seemingly once all one race, like way back.
We still are one race.
Yeah, all right, but okay. I don't know how to put it differently, but when you think like the English are derived from the Anglo-Saxons, and the Anglo-Saxons are now the East Saxons, which is pretty much one of the most detested dialects in Germany. And then the Americans are a colony of the English. This is when you think about what history did, especially when you think like the Germanics were almost annihilated by the Romans. So maybe some of this almost didn't happen. When you think about history, this is crazy.
It's also silly. We're all one people. No one is better than anyone else.
Exactly, but just history, like how it all spread.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You know, that's
It's
just a silly part of it. But
if we stay on this topic, I'm going to be going down a political path, and that's probably
yeah, that talking about another rabbit hole. Talking
Yeah,
about another rabbit hole.
just let's keep this back to toys, otherwise we'll get on about how nationalism is fucking shit.
Actually, dude, we're on an hour. We're actually
Yes,
since
I know. I can feel my tummy rumbling.
since 17 seconds we're in overtime. So
I need to go and make my tea, by which I mean my evening meal, as opposed to a cup of tea. But I will make a cup of tea after I have my tea.
sounds good. So that's what I want to do. I want to thank you for being on, dude.
So that's just a fight amongst the English. Is the evening meal dinner or tea?
But seriously, dude, thank you for being on, man.
That's all right. I can talk crap for ages.
Yeah, that we should do. I think that's a testament to our private message history, like all the gifs and memes we shoot at each other when we see something nice. So there's quite a lot.
Now I'm just pretending.
What kind of a Pepsi was that?
Right, this is Pepsi Max Cherry.
Okay.
Do you not have that in Germany?
I don't know. I believe there's a place where I can get it. I need to check. Pepsi. I have a problem with Max due to the sorbitol and everything like that.
I think this does actually have aspartame in there.
Yeah, aspartame or sorbitol, something of the two.
But it's Pepsi Max. Was it Coke Zero? I mean, it's all the same as the diet thing anyway. It's just that.
Yeah, that's the thing. But nevertheless, again, dude, I wanna release you now. Thank you for being on. I would say plug your channel or anything, but the thing is, you don't have anything of the sort. So
no, I just show up and talk crap.
I'm just saying, if it's okay with you, I will put your contact details in the description of the video.
Yeah, sure. I'll expect a grand total of nothing in the inbox.
You never know. Because Dan is also a rather renowned DJ in the UK.
That's being incredibly generous.
Incredibly generous, but you got a bit of a following. There are some people that are following you, and you are quite often booked for events doing retro wave, synth wave, and also some dark wave stuff. And so if you want to meet Dan, you can hit him up, and there's a scheduling on his website.
Tell them where they can find me, not in person.
No, that you can do by yourself. I just put in your contact message, and if you want to meet someone, you can do that by yourself. But nevertheless, like I said, thank you, dude. Appreciate it.
Good to do it again.
Great thing. Had a great time. So thanks for Kato in the chat. The only one, but he was there. Thanks. And I would say till next time. I hope you enjoyed. Anyone also offline. See you on the next review that's coming tomorrow. And until then, I would just say, have a nice day, rest of the week, whatever fits your need. Take care.